Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is Monday, October 16th, 2023. We start with the invocation. Would you please stand and pray? Heavenly Father, as we assemble here tonight, we are blessed to be meeting together. We ask for your guidance and blessing on our governmental leaders, especially as there have been disheartening reports of war in the Middle East again, with many civilians killed. Please watch over that situation and provide guidance and comfort to all concerned. Tonight, we're here to do city business. We'll be paying routine expenses, doing routine approvals of licenses and permits, along with scheduling and conducting of public hearings. In addition, we'll be hearing the activities of our library and code enforcement, considering pavement projects as we finish up a playground area, and hearing a presentation from our water department. These are all important considerations for the long-term future of our city. So we ask that you look down on those that have felt you're called to be in attendance. For the council members and staff, please bless us with quiet and considerate attitudes, well thought out deliberations, and ultimately decisions that are best for all concerned. And we thank you for those in the audience and watching the broadcasts, the leaders of businesses and organizations who have the vision and commitment to help our city, the countless volunteers who are motivated to help, and informed citizens who have given us the privilege of their trust and support. Tonight we assemble to combine the talents that you have given us for the benefit of Oskaloosa. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight. Amen. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Almond. Here. Burnett.
Here.
Bellinger.
Here.
Comfort.
Here.
Dross.
Here.
Hermson. Here. Ocean. Here.
First item up is the opportunity for community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're included in the current agenda. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council, asked to keep statements brief, time limited to 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked of the city staff or the council members or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so concerns can be properly researched and perhaps answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. Is there anyone who would like to speak tonight? Name and address, please.
Brant Bowman, 1211 South Market Street. I just want to first off say just how wonderful the Edmondson Park playground is looking, so good job. I noticed, Stuart, that that's all coming together now that you're on board. So. And second of all, I know some people here probably went on the tour and saw Studio Oski and how it's filling up and becoming a real driver for small businesses. I just spent a weekend in Moline, Illinois, doing an art project, basic art project for me. I made a 12-foot tall Day of the Dead puppet for a parade. And while I was there, they have a very similar space. Over the course of the last 3 to 4 years, it's really changed their community. It's allowed, the lady was telling me about all the dozens and dozens of businesses that came through and rented little spaces and then now have moved out into their own storefronts. And if that can be a model there that Lauren's doing down in Studio Oski, it'll be really awesome. And just the more we can support small artists and artisans and little pop-up shops, the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent.
Thanks, Brent. Thank you, Brent. Is there anyone else who would like to speak tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we'll proceed with the agenda. First items up is the consent agenda. These are all items that are routine in nature. They'll be acted upon in a single vote. Did want to draw council's attention to, we have a resolution scheduling a public hearing, item J. This is on November 6th for the submission of a community development block grant application for the downtown facade improvement project, phase 4. Boy, we just keep on working on that. And also item K, which is a resolution setting the date for a public hearing on plans for the new water resource recovery facility and force main improvements project, also known as a wastewater plant. So anyway, with that, do we have a motion of support for the consent agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? regular agenda. First item up is a presentation from the Oskaloosa Public Library. Marion?
Mayor Council, thank you for letting me come present this evening. So, just a reminder of what we do. We are here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forget how short. We exist to provide the primary source of information, education, information for the city of Oskaloosa as well as the county of Mahaska. So that is still our mission statement. We are still fulfilling that. So I wanted to kind of just brief overview of kind of the last 5 years, some changes that have happened to your library and the good positive things that are happening there. So we wanted to highlight the reading garden and the native plantings. This was actually brought together, a good portion of this was sponsored by the Golden Goose Club as well as the Friends of the Public Library. The native plantings were brought to you by the Friends, the fencing and the cement pads, the big chairs, that was all Golden Goose Club. So that is really bright in that area. I made that kind of a spot to come and take pictures and then head into the library. So, first floor updates, we had some really cool things happen there over the last few years. 2021, you can see the kids program room. That was done, the whole room was done by 3 local artists. They donated 160 hours of their time to do that room. It's all interactive. All 4 seasons are represented. All the alphabet is represented. Touch it. That's what it's all about. We want the kids to go up and interact with it. So it's very bright and welcoming. We also, in that regard, last year we painted the first floor in more welcome and calmer colors for kids. So it's a lot more kid welcoming and friendly. So it kind of hangs out there a little bit better. Doesn't look like the rest of the library, which is not what a kids department should. It should look like it's for kids. So then also the Makerspace Lab opened in 2021. So big shout out to the Blackwell family. This is an idea that the staff kicked around for probably 3 or 4 years, but we just didn't have the funding for it. So Makerspace costs about $20,000 to start up. So that's about what the Blackwell family gave us. So, so we couldn't have made it possible without them. But it is a huge bonus for the library to have a makerspace. It's a great community space. The Blackwell family wanted something that was community-based. They wanted something that was library-based. We said, we have that for you, and this is what it is. So yeah, it's just a really cool space. Some of the things that we have in it, we have Cricut machines. So you can do fabrics with that. You can do paper with that. You can do foam with that. So there's all kinds of fun things you can cut out. You can also do ink work on it. You can make mugs. You can make t-shirts. So there's a whole new world open at your library there. We also have sewing and fabric area. We also have a Glowforge 3D printer, which will do wood and acrylics. Can also etch glass and metals. So again, kind of all kinds of fun things you can make there. We have a 3D filament printer. We also have a rock tumbler. That thing has literally been running for the last 8 months straight. So rocks are very popular. I didn't know how popular they were going to be, but they are really popular. So we also have a photography area. We have about 5 or 6 different backgrounds where you can come in and just take family photos if you so choose. We actually have an SLR camera if you want to do it that way, or just come in with your phones, either way. We also have AccuCut cutouts, which is pre-Cricut is what we say. It's the old-fashioned, you roll it out, it cuts out the little die cuts. So there's just lots of fun things that you can do at your library. We're more than just books and movies. There's lots of stuff happening at the library. Second floor spaces, there's been some changes happening up on the second floor. The teen zone moved out of its little tiny room that it was just past the grandfather clock. So it has a whole new space in the back. We brightened it up. We got some orange and greens and blues. Did some color hues back there, so it kind of looks like a more teen-friendly area. Added a cafe table and some chairs. And then all the rest of the furniture, we just moved around. We had it all in the library. We just repurposed it to different comforting areas. So the reading room, if you haven't been in there, you really need to come to your library. So we took out the 3 shelving units in there, really opened up the whole space. That's the picture down here in the lower left. So it's just a real nice, comforting reading room. You want to come hang out. We actually have 2 of our book club groups that actually use the reading room for their meetings now rather than using one of our meeting rooms because they just find it more comfortable to talk about the books there. So, and then also we can't forget about our genealogy space. We have one of the best genealogy spaces. We've heard this many times from people that come in doing genealogy research. We have so much genealogy material. We have the Oskaloosa Herald all the way back to the very beginning on microfilm. So yeah, we've got a couple of genealogy databases that are available to use in-house. There's just a lot of great things happening in the genealogy room. Some of the other things that we did on the second floor, we added some displays. So we have a staff pick display. Not sure what to read next, or view next, or listen to next? Stop at the staff pick table. We can help you out. These are things that the staff is reading, viewing, and listening to. That changes out about every 4 to 6 weeks. Or we have the monthly question wall. This month's question is, what is your go-to karaoke song? Just in case you want to know, mine is the Baloney jingle. Oscar Mayer Baloney. You got to be old enough to know that one, but it's the one that always sticks in my head. So we also do displays up there. So we have a second floor display, we have a director's choice display, we have a team display. Some other things that we've added to second floor, we have a dedicated computer that is strictly for job applications and people to do the resumes, because almost every application now has to be done online. So we made sure there's a computer specifically just for people to do those things on. We also networked one of our copiers so that you can actually email directly to wherever you need to email your documents to. You don't even have to go into the lab anymore, you just go right to the copier, scan your documents, email away there. So we've listened to the public. We keep trying to adapt and make sure we fulfill their needs. We have added some unique collections. These collections don't necessarily fill out anywhere else, but in front of you, you all should have a lovely little card giving a little overview of a couple of these collections. So we have what's called a library of things. So some of the things we have in there right now are yard games, kitchen, pots and pans, those kind of things. We're adding some hand tools. We also have our grief kits there. Those were through a sponsorship. They were given to the library. All the local Mahaska libraries were given this, the 3 grief kits. There's one for kids, one for teens, and one for adults. So if you know anyone that is experiencing grief and having a hard time getting through, we have kits to help them with that. So then also we added a seed collection. Yep, that's real seeds. You can literally check out seeds from your library, go and grow your own garden. So no, you don't have to return them. So now, with that said, yes, you can return them. Next year, you can harvest your seeds, bring them back, and we can keep the collection going that way. So it's going to be a really good thing. We're very excited about that. We also added puzzles. We used to actually have a puzzle table in the library. When COVID happened, puzzles had to go away, but people still wanted them. So you can check them out. And the great thing is you don't have to buy them. Check them out from your library, put them together, bring them back, you just get your next one. So we can help you out with that as well. Then moving on, we're going to get into some numbers now for you. So part-time staff, we have 9 part-time people. We have some that only work a single day. We have some that work 2 days, some that work 5 days. So the schedules are very varied, but it covers the shifts that we need. We also have 6 full-time, including myself. If you add all the years that we have all worked there, we have 138 years of experience for you at the library. So kind of know what we're doing. Just putting that out there. Also, so some statistics here thrown at you. Our door count, you will see on all of my slides that you have big numbers and then a little tiny number and then some big numbers again. So guess what year COVID happened? Yeah. So, and it hurt. Libraries really got whacked. It was a hard time for us. So, but you will see that we are in that slow progression back to pre-COVID numbers. We're very excited about that. So door counts, our new patrons.
Mary Ann, can I
yes.
ask a quick question? Go back to the last slide.
I don't know.
2018, 2019. Almost, I mean, what was so spectacular that year? 70,000, everything else was like 47, 43. What happened there, do you know?
Well, the beginning of COVID happened in 1920.
Yeah, but I'm just looking, you had 70,000 in 2018, 2019.
19. So that was all pre-COVID happening there. So that was all, you know, we had more programming, we had more things happening.
So the previous years would have been similar to that, is what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah,
Gotcha.
if I go back 10 years, you're gonna have those same kind of numbers.
Gotcha, okay, cool. All right, awesome. Thank you.
Circulation of the physical collection. So again, you're gonna see that where we had more circulation, then it kind of dwindled, now it's coming back up again. Wi-Fi and computer use. This is going to not bounce back as much, and the reason being, one thing COVID did is it pretty much put a digital device in almost everybody's hands. So, and it also, a lot of broadband happened, a lot of Wi-Fi happened for people. So those numbers, like you'll see, we went from 2045. We didn't start tracking Wi-Fi until 2019, so that's why 2019 looks kind of skewed. And then we had a lot, and then we're back down to the 6,000 range. That's going to be probably about average for us now. So, and that is also reflecting on how we are doing our computer usage. We're talking about changing a lot of things over to tablets, things you can check out, those type of things. Again, you have to grow and adapt and do what your community needs. So that's the kind of things that we are looking at. Online subscriptions, this includes our Bridges, which is your online audiobooks and digital, your ebooks, your digital audiobooks. E-magazines are also available through that. It also includes our genealogy databases, also includes our language databases. So this is everything that you can do online at your library. Then our program attendance, 2019-20 is going to be a little skewed there because it includes virtual programming. So those are your numbers from your Facebook hits. So those numbers are going to look really big versus actual in-person programming. So it does kind of skew the graph a little bit, but you will see we're still doing that upward trend. Summer reading, what's interesting for us is we actually had more people in 2018-19 participate, but this year we read more minutes. We read over 1 million minutes this year. So people are reading, it's a good thing. Interlibrary loans is a service that if you cannot find a book in our library, we can get it from another library for you. There's a small fee, just so you know that. It helps with postage and shipping. But you will see that the green numbers are things that we sent versus the yellow numbers, things we received. If we are sending that much material out, that tells you we have a great collection because other libraries are requesting it versus what we are getting in. Reference questions? These are things we answer. No, this does not include where is the restroom. So these are more about what book can you find, what does this topic cover, where is this information located. Those are the kind of reference questions. This includes things that we answer by phone, things we answer in person, things we answer through email. So that is all of our reference questions put together. And medium use, that is on the upward trend as well. So medium use, there's a rare day when someone is not using medium at the library. They are one of our best used resources. And overall, there's been a lot of changes. A lot of things happening over the last 5 years. We continue to adapt, we continue to grow. We're there. We are your library. When you are ready for us, we are there for you. We offer services that are being used regularly. The pandemic did have a negative effect on all of us, not just libraries. The libraries took a pretty hard hit with it. But you'll see, those numbers are creeping up. And lastly, just thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come present to you and show what your library is happening. So, and I am going to apologize because I'm actually working the desk. So I need to go. So is there any questions before I wander away?
Well, just one. You mentioned that we've got the Oskaloosa Herald back to the very beginning on microfilm.
Correct.
Is there a process, cheap process, where you can take microfilm and digitize into searchable text?
There's not a cheap way to do that. It has actually already been done. But then you would have to speak to the lawyers of the Oskaloosa Herald because they use all of our microfilm to digitize it, and we have no access to it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the source of it.
Sorry I brought it up.
How about you?
You got questions?
Well, no, I can add, because I'm a historian. So one of my history friends in North Dakota State University quoted it on his, he has a show of ballads, and he had a ballad from the Oskaloosa Herald from 1906 in that. So other people are able to use it. I don't know. But anyway, it was a kind of shout out to me. Here's a song from, yeah. So,
We're still waiting. We're hoping at some point they will let us at least have access in-house to it.
Okay.
Hey, Marion, the next time, if you can be more passionate about the library, that would work. Nice job.
No, it was
Nice
great.
job.
It's awesome.
Well
We
done.
have a wonderful library.
Thank you very much.
Keep
Come
up
on
the
over.
work.
We're there for you.
Back to work.
Yeah.
she does need more snack.
Next up is the code enforcement quarterly report.
Of course.
Which one is that?
Well, you just scroll.
Hello, everyone.
Hey there.
How do I make it bigger?
preface this by saying that our numbers have been a bit down this last quarter due to a couple different things. We lost one of our firefighters. I've been covering shift. She's been doing a great job helping, getting out there, writing stuff up so that way I can put it in the computer and get that going. Also, the good news is that with Cammie's help, she's not here, we're going to be implementing a new software this week, which is going to help streamline everything case-wise. So it's going to keep everything in one spot. We're going to be able to just bang stuff out real quickly instead of having to go take pictures, come back, put it on the computer, and then put it on different spreadsheets and stuff like that. It's all going to be in one spot. I'm really excited about it because it's going to be really easy, really efficient, and really streamlined. So, yep, there's the overall program. Just trying to make the city a better place. I said 69 cases. Positive side, having so few cases, we've been able to have very, very good compliance on the ones we've been able to focus on. So, very good there. And that's a breakdown of the number. Still, the majority of them are junk and grass. And then here's just some pictures of some of the stuff that we've been cleaning up. So this is High Avenue West. That's how they let it get. And that's, the resident cleaned this one up. So this property owner, we've written them up, I think last year too, for the same thing, and they're pretty on it as far as getting that cleaned up. This is another one. This was the afterwards, all overgrown. Yeah, sometimes it's just people not wanting to get their stuff mowed.
Zach, both of those look like they're backyard situations.
Yep, backyard
Do you see that?
situations.
Were the front yards mowed and they just let the
Yeah.
backyards go?
Yep, people think that, out of sight, out of mind,
Yeah.
can't see it, so, yep. So we did a lot with that, and I didn't wanna have like a dozen pictures of mowed yards for you guys to see, but that's just kind of the general gist of the main things we get rid of, but, yep. That's about it, short and sweet. Any questions?
You guys do a good job. I said,
That
well,
was
you do a great job.
No questions, but thank you. I mean, I know that this isn't probably the favorite thing for some of you guys to do, but it makes a huge difference in our community.
Mhm.
So I truly appreciate what you're doing, so thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Zach is very approachable too. I stop him every once in a while. You can even stop him, pop in and say he's very approachable. So
Yeah, anytime.
he's easy to work with.
I appreciate it too, because in Fremont, they make the city council go out and do this.
Really?
Yeah. Do you ever find, I mean, with some of these, do they have to be fined, and they have to get this before they do something, or is there anything where we can do a more softer, helpful approach? I mean, is it people who can't do it or won't do it? Like the mowing, the junk,
From the stories that I've heard of
Yeah.
code enforcement in the past, I'm probably one of the more gracious and lenient code enforcement officers we've had in a long time.
Here or around?
Just here in
But
Austin.
you guys don't find everybody's Zach. A good percentage of those people clean up their own.
Yeah,
mess,
yeah,
correct?
we get pretty good compliance. Chief and I are really good about talking to people, having those conversations, working with them to get stuff. Like we have a template for how we do things,
Okay.
and depending on how that person reacts to us is how strict we are on that template
Yeah,
or
got
that process. Like if they're open to us and they're talking to us like, hey, I'm getting this done, or hey, we're doing this, you wanna come check it out? We're gonna work with them and kinda kick the can down the road until they get it cleaned up themselves. Cause the last thing we wanna do is have to put a hard deadline on that and then they don't do it, so then we have to get the sanitation department out here and then sometimes our city guys. I think last quarter we had some pretty big cleanups that the city guys were amazing and helped us out with. It looks like completely different properties now, so.
And
So
Zach,
that might help with your new software, you can put in the number of contacts
Yep.
versus the number, and then also how many do we actually have to find?
Yeah, this new
Because that would be
software.
helpful to know, if you had 200 contacts, but you only had to go to kind of an arbitration for 69, that
Well,
makes, you look good.
I'm just thinking there's only 2 public hearings for
Right.
nuisance abatements
Right.
on our agenda tonight. And I think, again, that speaks,
Yeah.
to me, that speaks volumes to what Chief and Zach and the whole team are doing, because if they were fining everybody, I mean, we'd sit here for days in public
Yeah.
hearings. So thank you.
Yeah, and that is the thing, if we were to keep to that hard schedule, we have abatements like weekly
Yeah.
going on, so. Yeah, I feel like we do a pretty good job of working with people.
and this year, Zach, we took on 3 projects at my work. So I was just thinking about this. They were mostly tree brush removal. We
Yep,
removed a lot through the day of carrying. So you might be able to, you and Scott might be able to keep that in mind when that comes around. These were people that I know were not capable of taking care of the yards. We did we have before and after, we did three major, so maybe keep that in mind as something like,
Yeah.
that's something.
So United Way does day of caring every year.
Yes.
So if you can figure out when that is, maybe at the same time you got these people on your radar, maybe day of caring,
Yeah.
they're looking for projects.
Yeah.
They can go out and help these
Yeah.
folks that need
So
it, yeah.
We
Yeah,
did three
we
major
were
ones
in,
this year, and we got them all done in one day. We have enough of us that we did a major overhaul in those
Yeah,
houses.
Awesome.
Oskaloosa has a good group of service
Yeah.
organizations, Lions,
And we have
Rotary, I mean, all sorts of.
We have a list of like resources, stuff like that for them on the back of the ticket that we give them. We make sure that they're aware of these resources, that they can reach out to these church groups or different
Yeah.
groups like that, United Way.
Yeah.
I think Habitat for Humanity is another one we send them to, so,
Good job.
yeah.
You guys did a great job.
Well done, thank you.
Mhm.
Moving to item C. Yes, we need nuisance. This is to consider a resolution levying a special assessment for a nuisance abatement at 806 North H. This is in accordance with Oskaloosa Municipal Code 8.08.080. And so certified notices were sent to the property owner, notice published in the Oskaloosa Herald. If approved, the property owner has 30 days from the time of filing with the Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for the abatement in the city clerk's office. After 30 days, it's assessed to their property taxes with a payment schedule at 9% interest. As is in our packet here, the nuisance abatement was performed on the schedule where April 10th, there was initial write-up with excessive junk. April 21st, notice that we were going to schedule an abatement. May 11th, the abatement was conducted. And then on July 13th, notice that trash was beginning to accumulate. Gave resident the opportunity to clean it up, and then on July 18th, had to abate that as well. So anyway, this does require a public hearing, so I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to it? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support for this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Almond,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Allegary,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Drost,
Yes.
Ernson,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Okay, item D. This is to consider a resolution for levying a special assessment for nuisance abatement at 806.
I think that's
I think we could reverse this list to be the first.
Yeah.
ones.
Yep. So same thing, second verse. So what this does is capture the April 10th through May 11th abatement process. So I'll open the public hearing again. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this? Okay, seeing none, I'll close that. Do we have a motion of support for this resolution?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Burnett,
Yes.
Allegary,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Drost,
Yes.
Ernson,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E, this is a resolution scheduling a special assessment for a nuisance abatement at 502 North Market. This one, certified notices sent to the property owner, notice published in the Herald. If approved, property owner has 30 days from time of filing with the Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for the abatement. After 30 days, it's assessed to property taxes at a 9% interest rate. Nuisance was abated at 502 North Market, April 18th. Several complaints of junk beginning to accumulate on the property again. After an investigation, found that significant junk had accumulated, wrote the property up, allowed 3 days to clean it up, and then scheduled Midwest Sanitation to be available in the event it was not cleaned up. Second offense of the year, so no certified notice was necessary. And then on April 25th, the property wasn't cleaned up, so we proceeded with the abatement of the junk and trash that accumulated. So this requires a public hearing as well. Is there anyone who, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. We have a motion of support for this resolution.
Second.
Any discussion?
So this is the second one where it's the second time, is that, did I read that right? Both of these are twice now? So have we gotten, I mean, if they're not getting the message, I'm sure I've asked this question, I forgot though. Third, fourth, fifth, I mean, how far does it go, you know? It just goes?
Mine goes up each time.
Yeah.
I will say on 502, I think they got the message. This time it's a contract sale, and we deal with the owner and the person buying it on contract. And I think they had a nice discussion after we called them, and things have been looking better. I have had to speak to him once since then, giving him basically no timeline other than, I think, 2 days. And we were just gonna have the sanitation company there again, and they did comply right away.
Thanks.
Other comments? Roll call, please.
Calendar,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yep.
Okay, that passes. Item F, this is to consider a resolution affirming the sole source quotation. This is from Norris Asphalt Paving for the paving at the Edmondson Park Playground parking lot. Scope of work is placement of 4-inch HMA paving along the segment of roadway just south of the newly constructed Edmondson Park Playground. Paving will assist in the establishment of ADA access to the playground, which also was designed with ADA compliant features. The project is a sole source informal quotation. Norris Asphalt Paving is the only paving contractor in the area. Staff is recommending we approve a resolution affirming the sole source quotation. We have a motion of support.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
How far does that go? I mean, the quote only had like so many tons, but is that from Edmondson Drive to like the restroom, including parking, or what does that cover, Sean?
Yeah, so that goes past the parking, it actually includes the parking stalls, and it goes past the existing portion of sidewalk that connects into there. I don't recall exactly how far past that it goes a little ways into the bed, but it doesn't go all the way down by any stretch.
Is there an estimate of how many spots, parking spots there would be?
Let's see, I believe it is gonna be narrowed a little bit, but we're gonna actually paint the spots instead of it being just gravel parking. I believe we were around 8 stalls was something along those lines, which I mean, typically, I don't think that many people even got in there because people would park however, but you
Right.
know, actually having organized stalls, I think is gonna let us get more parking out of it, even though it's less area.
Well, then there's that back parking lot, correct, just on the other side when it comes to.
Right, there's still the parking down there,
Yeah.
people can use the
Yeah.
shelter there and come up that way.
Okay. Are there any ADA standards you have to hit with this sort of thing?
Yeah, there's slope restrictions that we have to do, there's, we are gonna have,
It's 10 stalls with 2, maybe.
okay. And I believe we're doing, there are a number of ADA stalls that are required, so that they have a van access and an area between. I think we're gonna have 2 stalls that are compliant with ADA, but we're actually only gonna mark one of them as, restricted ADA parking, so that by numbers, that's enough.
Okay.
And if we have issues, we can always paint the other one pretty easily.
Okay. Comments or questions?
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Nice.
Roll call, please.
Comfort,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Calendar,
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item G, update on the wastewater 2080 agreement. Let's see, presenting.
Matt, I go first.
Okay.
You might as well come up too. So it's been a while since I guess we've done an update on our operations, so we decided to throw together a report on how operations are going, and then also the 2080 agreement. The wastewater department goals, the two we're really gonna focus on right now are the efficient operations and optimized relationship with the water utility. We have DNR compliance, balanced maintenance and growth needs, and sustainable rates, so that's all. We're also working on those. Right now, we're just kinda gonna show the highlights of these. Kind of our target areas that we have sought out through this agreement were developing a good customer database for complaints. Previously, we had nothing, just a memory. water department, they've always kept track of anything that was going on. We're able to add that directly to the same tab. So if they look something up, we can tell if we've had complaints there. So that's created a really good efficiency there. The surface-wise, we're really striving to stay on top of the grease trap inspections with restaurants in town. It's going to be a benefit for our system, help everything run cleaner, and then also we take care of doing sewer taps for new construction or existing old construction that's failed. Repair-wise, we do have a lot of projects, but there is several in-house projects we do as well. Small section, we'll do if we have a question on whether it's a lateral or our sewer main, we'll dig down, we'll do repair if necessary. Maintenance, we really, in the last 3 to 4 years, got a very good preventative maintenance program. We have 2 plants that have really struggled. So the plant operators have done a really good job identifying what we need to do and getting it on a schedule, whether it's monthly, biannually, annually, and they keep great records. So whoever comes in next should be able to know what's going on. And then also collaborating. As you know, when this first went into place, we had city employees and we had water department employees. Through the collaboration with the 2080 agreement, we've been able to bring everybody under as water department employees and do some cross-training that's been very beneficial. This is the last 2 years. Complaint-wise, in 2022, we had 58 sewer complaints. In 2023, we had 49. Typical sewer complaints is going to be I have a sewer gas smell or I have backup in my basement. Hopefully there's a sewer gas smell, a lot easier to deal with than backup in basement. And then storm sewer complaints, we had 19 in 22, and then we had 17 last year. Typical storm sewer complaint is going to be you have an intersection that's not taking water, or by the Christian school we were always going out putting a new storm sewer lid on. So, services and repairs. Just a chart of what it's looked like the last couple of years. Main repairs was up a little bit the 23 fiscal year. Storm repairs were down. Taps were down, although it's kind of surprising. We were very busy there for a while. Fog inspections, we were able to get another 5 added to ours, taken care of. Samples, anything, I mean, we work with street department on samples. They identify something, we can go out and check out what it is. Anytime we have something like that reported, whether it's resident, street department, something we see, we're going and inspecting it to make sure. And then bypasses are going to be a heavy rain event. If we have a blocked main, something we go out, we take care of, and then we're in contact with the DNR to meet all of our liabilities on it.
Matt, what's the fog inspection?
Fats, oils, and greases.
Thank you.
Along with that, we are working sometime in the next 6 months or so to get a code update on that to try to make it a better process. New installation. I guess first I'll go up to over here. We got our total sludge handled. This is after it's been through a treatment plant. This is the end product we're left with. This we typically inject in on farm fields. Farmers use it as fertilizer. In 2022, we hauled out just shy of 2 million gallons. 2023, 1.6 million gallons. Flows haven't gone down. We've had plant working very hard to optimize the plants and get better digestion of it. So, and then the new installation, some efficiencies we've created with the passage of the code amendments we've done this last year. Part of that was to create an area we can put sample stations in for any industrial users. That allows us to be able to go in on our property, grab a sample. This down here would be the sampler, and there's a manhole in there that's a flow meter. So all the information we need can be obtained without disrupting any businesses. So that's just getting buttoned up.
That's active now, right? That's, yeah.
Yes. And then this would be part of the 2080 agreement was to do preventative maintenance on the collection system, to get out there, 23, just doing the maintenance side of it, that's no complaints, that's just, we're going out, we're doing this section. Staff's able to complete 28,000 feet of cleaning. Next to that, we have routine. We have what we call 30, 60, 90s. To us, that means they're flat, low-lying areas.
Regular trouble spots.
Yep. So, we go out every 30 days, 90 days to clean those. We have about 14,800 feet of those we've done. Then we go over to our televising. A lot of times we try to get in and televise, look for trouble spots as well. Last year they were able to get just shy of 4,400 square feet televised, recorded. We do have the ability, we can upload that to our GIS mapping. So, and everything's dated, so if we have an area, we can go back, watch that video once we've done it. Goal is kind of along there, 10 years, we update get everything videoed, and then we can go back through and update it. So not only do we have a cleaning, we also have a visual on what the areas look like. And then storm sewer, we have about 1,500 feet of that on video.
Hey Matt, quick question, the 28,000 maintenance versus the others, what's the difference between the?
The routine is where we have the constant issues, the maintenance is just picking an area and going. We try to have it on a quadrant, so we've started in the northwest quadrant and have moved to the northeast quadrant.
So if, just to put this in perspective, 28,000 feet, I think a city block is about 256 and a half feet of the actual block without the right of way. That's about 100 city blocks, if I do my math right.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
About 100 city blocks of maintenance, that's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
So
You said that we've got 330,000 feet, is that what I heard you say?
yes.
So you're a little less than 10% in a year that you're doing on it, right?
Yeah.
So you're not-
Yeah, I mean, if we, the next slide on, we've done a combined,
So
we
when you do the
combine
visual,
our-
when you do the visual, does that change, when you find things, does that move something up ahead of something else sometimes?
It can.
It can, okay, yeah, I'm just curious.
we work with Sean on that, I mean, there's been times we've called him out and said, Sean, you need to come look at this, it's not great.
Right.
We definitely don't want us to have that, but it does happen. If we go combine our routine, which is, we know trouble spots plus the other, we were about 42,000 feet, 43,000 feet we did last year.
A little ahead of schedule, on the team schedule.
If I remember right, I couldn't find the exact numbers, but I believe for fiscal year 22, we were sitting about 38,000 feet. So, but yeah, there's a 10-year plan, get it all done, then we start over again. Never ending. Part of the collaboration we've had, we've created communication. As I'm sure most of you know, I've come from the wastewater department. Kelly and I have worked together on this, and I have great relationships with existing staff. So between our plant operators, Kelly and myself, we're able to keep everybody in the loop on what's going on and try to get things done efficiently and quickly. Kelly, you can probably speak a little more on this workforce. Yeah, but they have 14 full-time employees, and we got all regular daily maintenance and operations are accomplished by OMW staff. Both parties are maximizing staff, improving efficiency. Along that line comes the cross-training, trying to get them trained on water, wastewater, then we can utilize whoever we need. Some days we have big projects, some days we have small projects.
So it's 14 both with wastewater and water, so.
That's combined total, yeah.
The efficiencies across training, and then employment policies. Kelly, I guess you can.
Yeah, everybody regularly, thank you guys for the chance to speak. Appreciate Matt for putting what you did together, it's great. The 2080 came about for some of you that haven't been on here the entire time I've been here, some of you are newer in the last couple of years. It came about as a study by Public Financial Management for efficiencies for the city. It was proposed as an efficiency exercise at the time, and the two entities took it up. There was a new agreement signed in 2020, and as Matt talked about some of the efficiencies, when I started, I was still directing workforce employed by you guys. And there was different pay levels, different benefit levels, and there was a lot of friction. And the city council and previous management proposed they all become our employees, and the last two remaining folks that work for you came to work for us. And I am glad to report it did accomplish the goal of, it put to bed a lot of the old hatchets that were out there. Because there was a lot of hard feelings. And I appreciated being able to facilitate that along, the city going along with us. And along with that, the city filled the Assistant Public Works position with Matt, and he's a direct liaison, and I don't think there's a day go by we don't talk 4 or 5 times at least. And we've always had a good working relationship, and that's continued. When the initial agreement began, OMWD had 10 employees, and the city employed 7. When I was brought on board in 19, the combined workforce was 15 with seasonal help and the contracting of mowing. We now employ 14 full-time employees, and that covers everything. And that covers all daily maintenance and operations. We don't use any outside vendors for mowing. Everything's done in-house. And just at our entry-level wages that we have now, between the two entities, that's almost $300,000 a year to save. It's 3 employees. And there's not a person that works here, whether in the office, in management, or in this guy, that somehow doesn't perform a water sewer task at some time during the day. Whether it's billing or taking somebody's payment, we collect your bill, we bill and collect for you guys. Somebody does something that touches one of them a day. Currently, it's funded at 8 positions water and 6 positions sewer. Our board, represented by Mr. Irwin, our chairman back here, they regularly update rules and regulations, employment policies, and the handbook. And last year, we bid off something I didn't think we could get over the mountain, but Mr. Dross assured me we could, because Musco did, is we did change to a paid time off policy that did away with vacation sick, and it's PTO is everything. And it has made getting top quality and experienced staff easier for us, because we do offer a new employee something, because we needed 2 experienced plant operators this year. We were able to go out and get them and start here. One was a person actually used to work here and decided to come back after 10 years. We petitioned DNR in late 2022 for reduced hours at our plants for weekend coverage. You know, ours is a 7-day-a-week operation. They approved, and the employees appreciated that, so now they just work a partial shift on a Saturday or Sunday, usually 3 hours wastewater or 4 hours water. But it's saved us a considerable amount in overtime, and it gives those employees a better outlook about working a weekend, because it's not a full day. As Matt said, one of the bigger challenges has been developing a good database. There was nothing when I got here for customer calls, history, and it's because they used to never call the water department. They called the wastewater plant, or they called Public Works, they called City Hall. And we've tried to put the word out to everybody. If you have a sewer complaint, please call the water department, or at least Mahaska Dispatch, and they'll get it to us. And so we're able to build on our database with complaints and calls, so we see a history. So we get there and the customer says, you were just here 2 months ago, well, maybe 2 years ago, or maybe it was 2 months ago, but at least we know when we're going there, and we can develop trends that we never could see before. And the city challenged us with keeping statistical data 2 years ago, and we started, and my ex officio members, the mayor and Bob and Amal, we give monthly reports, and it has a number of calls and a number of things we handle where we can compile some data, and we're just now starting to see trends from that in 2 years of statistical data. So, but that will only get better.
Just to touch on that a second. I mean, one thing that this has also been beneficial, probably the key point to that to me was that we're getting residents to call and instead of hire the plumber.
Yeah.
Over the past, I was on wastewater for probably 7-8 years. The first was call plumber if it's.
They paid a lot of plumber bills when I got here.
If you call the plumber, if it's not on your line, we'll come out. So we sent them to a plumber first. We have reversed that, whereas you call us, we can come out, do our own investigation on it. Then we're not having people coming after our insurance.
We don't pay many plumber bills or have many claims anymore. It was a complete reversal. It was completely opposite of anything I had ever done. All along, we have constant planning for your new facility that you're going through. And that's been challenging as well. there was not the best data kept before. Matt and the plant operators have come through with data that I trust 100. It's right. It's right, but getting there has been a challenge. And sometimes you don't hear about everything the water department does, so I'd like to update you some of the projects that the water department has taken on. And the big one we completed is our GIS is completed. So anybody looking to come to town and want to see water data where we've got water lines, it's all done. That is completed. We're building a new transmission main from the treatment plant to city limits. We're improving the connections between town and there, and some of the outlying areas that will actually have city quality fire protection and water service in some of those areas. The West Connector Loop, which is going to give city water to the west side of 163. That's, all these are in engineering or in design already. And we're in the process of a new million-gallon elevated water storage tank. Although DNR is gonna make us jump through some hoops on sizing. They're not totally convinced. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come and present today. This used to be a different time of year, and then we decided to go with fiscal year. I used to present in January based on October to October. I think it's when the agreement started. And so this is a new time for me. And, but the 2080 was a source of a lot of employee divisiveness when I got here, and nobody talks about it anymore.
Oh, that line that's going from 220 to the, up there, the old Mahaska County building, when, are you guys doing that this, in 2024?
Each construction will start in 2024. We're obtaining easements right now by KBO and across that way. Yeah, and that'll be a 2-year construction.
Oh, 2 year, okay.
That's
Is that
almost.
12, what size, is that 12 inch?
That's a new 20 inch
20.
that will replace the probably 80 to 100 year old 10 and 12.
Yeah, okay.
It should put you good for another 100 years. And if I have any questions, that's all I have.
Any questions from council?
You mentioned trends, and so as we went through all the I&I projects and fixed a number of problems with lines, are we seeing any reduction in the number of breaks and stuff we gotta dig up, understanding that the weather has an impact on that too?
As far as hard numbers on reduction of I can't give you a hard number on that with the weather being so variable. Are we seeing it? Yes. Just easy example is prior to starting a lot of the I&I projects, if we had a 2-inch rain, we would see high flows at our facilities for 3 to 4 days. We would struggle per DNR, when we put anything to our EQ basically, we have 7 days to bring it back and run it through our plant. We would struggle to get that done within 7 days. Our peak flows, I know for the north facility, would go about 4,800 gallon a minute. Since we've done the lining, the repairs, we're getting it faster. Usually
You get it faster, it goes away faster.
Usually within 24 hours, the event has come, it's gone. We've seen numbers up to 8,400 gallons a minute coming in. But we're not getting near the degree we were either. The north plant, I know we were getting a lot of leaves, a lot of river rock. Going through some of the pasture ground out there was, we found some issues to that we are seeing. And then we've also had discussions on other ways with our annual maintenance money on how we may reduce it more so. But no, it seems like a lot of money we're putting through it, but it's definitely been beneficial to the system.
Yeah. As far as line breaks go, has there been any trending that way? That are things getting more ruggedized as we go, or is it?
You still got a lot of old
something else is
stuff.
breaking?
You still got a lot of old stuff.
Okay.
We still have our bad spots. I know a lot of our original projects address the worst of it.
It's way better than it was just when I started here, and a lot of the phases of that have been done already, but it is a lot better.
Good.
You're not in any different shape than most communities this age in this part of the country. In fact, you guys are a little better that you're very proactive about it. You have been since I've been.
Well, I think just one other comment, this is more on the water side than the wastewater side is, that, the last few years I sat on the water board and we sat in on the meetings, we talked about water loss. And that number has consistently come down. And I think the kind of industry target percentage is 15%?
15 for an aged community is considered good.
Yeah.
And I joke,
that's the-
we made 15.9%,
Yes.
it's still 15.
It's still
They don't always
considered.
work the way I do.
But I think the point to make, and again, this.
But it's a tremendous number. It used to be,
Yes.
it was 32% when I
Right.
started.
And that's what I was gonna ask you to state, Kelly, because I think that's a testament to
You
your
lost the-
team,
you lost a
our
third of the
public works
water.
team, and also the money that we as a city have invested in our systems the last few years. We talk about high water rates, high sewer rates that we as citizens are paying. But this is some of the work that's done, and that pure water losses has been cut in half over the last few years.
We produced one less month's water than they did in 2018 and before. In a year. We produce a whole month's less water in a year. And it's not insignificant budget-wise.
Yep.
In fact, it's very significant. We go through a load of lime, of high-grade lime, almost every 2 weeks. And when I started, that was $6,000 a load. When I started here, it's almost $10,000 a load now. So you're talking $20,000 just we save in lime, let alone electricity to pump the water to the plant for processing and then to town. So it's significant, and
It's also less water that's hitting our waste streams.
it's less water that's hitting your treatment plant, because it was running down the curb. When I got here, it wasn't alarming if there was a water leak and there was water running down the street. It's like, well, it's been leaking a few days. And I have a different attitude about it. I don't think there's one too small to fix, so. But that's the only way, you chop away a little bit at a time. So, well, I'd love to see better than 15.9, yeah, but I'm thrilled. I didn't think we could get here in a little over 4 years.
I was gonna give you 15.7, but
Well,
regardless,
I think it's-
I think the
I think
improvement is
it's-
something to be celebrated, not to hang our laurels
It
on.
is.
But we can be better, but that trend is huge, so.
It's just like, it can always be better, so we should always take the review and look at ourselves.
Yep.
You know, but we're definitely better.
Thank you.
Jeff?
Thank you.
Also wanted to give a call out to the chairman, Tony Irwin, that, I work pretty hard to run a good meeting, but, I can take lessons from that guy.
In 12 minutes.
In 12 minutes, yes.
You talked about long enough, boss.
I'm learning that if you're not quite so diplomatic and long-winded, things go faster, so, job well done, Tony.
Thank you.
Okay, that gets us to the end of our regular agenda. Reports from city staff, city manager, anything? Okay, city clerk,
No, sir, thank you.
city attorney,
I have nothing, thank you.
okay, council members, Lisa.
I just want to reiterate on the library. I used to make library talks across the state. I made over 100 of them. So I've seen libraries across the state. And I came here, I think probably 20 years ago. I remember how impressed I was with Oskaloosa's library. It really stands out. And the other departments you don't want to call. I don't want to call the police. I don't want to call the fire or the water, those, but I go to the library at least once a week for something and that. And so, it's what keeps a community, it's like the steam kettle, it keeps us from boiling over and that. And with my new students in the GED program, second thing they're doing out in the community is getting a library card, and they all come back so thrilled. I didn't know. So it shouldn't be a well-kept secret.
Joe?
If somebody, street department, take a look at the manhole cover on South D and everybody hits that little square. Yeah, I think it's down in Newtown. That's all.
Okay. John?
This weekend is William Penn's homecoming, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, sir. Thank you.
No?
Okay. A couple of things I wanted to mention is that, last week, I was privileged, to be able to go up to Cedar Falls and be on the receiving of the Daniel Burnham, Planning Award that was presented to the city of Oskaloosa. Being able to take our Plan Oski, which, I thought it was darn good, but I didn't realize it was that good. So anyway, shout out to Sean Christ and to the work done there. That RDG was also listed as on our award, and we found out, or at least I found out, something that probably everybody else in the room bucks into, a charitable organization, but also answer a lot of questions about some of the really neat work that's out there and some of the potential. Boy, it's gonna be an exciting year as some of those properties come online. So with that, next item up is the opportunity for a closed session. The item is to consider a closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.5.1C. This is to discuss strategy with legal counsel on a matter presently in litigation or in which litigation is imminent, where disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the city's position. In the associated language with that, acting pursuant to the requirements of the Iowa Public Information Board, I, Mayor Dave Kritzfeld, state and indicate that the closed session to follow is to discuss strategy in a pending matter with legal counsel for the city of Oskaloosa, Iowa, acting pursuant to the contract existing between the parties. Do you have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Trask,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Comfort,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Dismiss the audience.
Yes.
We are out of closed session. There was no action to be taken. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.